Alright guys, I'm back and I got another one for you guys today. We're reacting to a video titled Screen Printing is Dead 2023. The dark and honest truth about the screen print industry. Listen man, I told you guys flat out, nobody's safe. So let's get to it right after the intro. Mic check, one. My mic sounds nice, check, done. All right, guys, let's jump into it with no further ado. Today, we have a video titled Screen Printing is Dead in 2023, the dark, honest truth about the screen print industry. If you guys don't know me, my name is Stan Banks. Let's get into it.
Which I just seen a video today, which is about screen print. Why? Screen printing is dead.
She's saying that with a lot of conviction.
And that's going to be the title of this video. Screen printing is dead. It's dead in 2023. That's why I'm trying to explain to you guys. Be wary if somebody gets online and is like, yeah, you know, I'm doing good. And I have my platform and I sell my brand and we do this much, da. And then they name a process like screen print, but they say that they outsource. I'm telling you as a manufacturer, when you get to a certain level, you want to own your process. When you get to a certain level in this business, you want to own your process.
Sheesh, man, listen. This is pew pew. This is a ton of shots fired. And listen, going up against the screen print industry, man, you up against some dogs, some people who really love their businesses. They love the industry. And you know, it takes a lot to go out and say this because I've been in the middle of one of those wars, trying to fight the good fight for transfers. But if you stay persistent about it, you can defeat it because look at what's been able to be accomplished over the last few years. And you know, I think I won that war that I was in when it came to transfers versus screen printing. But now, I think he's right on point, man. It's like people, you know, are getting into the industry, not really knowing what they're getting into, not really understanding the process because people are out saying, yo, I got a platform, I have a brand, and you know, I'm making money, so you can too. And it's not always necessarily the case of how this whole thing works, and people find out that it's a lot more work than they thought it is.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video with Straight Into Content, brought to you by Flash Custom Transfers. And today I just want to give a real serious conversation. A lot of questions have been coming to us from beginners. You got right now the state of the industry is kind of out of battle because what's been happening, and I'm just gonna give you just the flat out truth of what's been happening in the industry. It's been getting diluted, it's been getting misinformation, it's been getting saturated because when it was first kind of popping in 2020, 2019, people really started getting into the industry a little bit before that too, but it wasn't as big. This industry, this custom apparel industry, this blank apparel industry, this transfer vinyl, create your own business, making merch industry, this industry didn't really pop until 2020 when people were at home and had nothing else to do. So people were just finding ways, well, you know what, I got all this money, right? The government just gave me $10,000. The government just gave me $6,000. You know, we got a large sum of money. Even though I was still working, I was managing a hospital.
All right, man. So I think he's right, man. This industry boomed in 2020, man. I think all of the analytics went up 3 times. Literally everything from views to you know, to affiliate income to all that kind of stuff. It took a huge turn in 2020 due to the pandemic, right? And as a person who, you know, I started printing in 2009, I started taking it serious in 2011, and I got on YouTube in 2017. So I had used that entire time to kind of learn and understand long before I got onto YouTube and made a video. And that's not the case now, right? People were home. They got an influx of money and they're looking for things to do out of their home with the money. Now, is that a bad thing? No, but I do feel like there was a little bit of a drawback through all of this stuff because this business is a lot more intricate than most people would understand to keep it going long term, right? And to do it to survive or to do it to grow and build a business or even to do it as a hustle, whatever way that you wanted to do it as a side business, it is not as simple as people may think it is. And that's one of the things where I try now to look at and understand that I don't want people hoarding equipment because I unboxed it or got it and now they're getting it and they're not using it. I want to see you use it through, and I want to see you use it to make money, not just to learn. Today, someone can get a piece of equipment today, tomorrow they can learn how to use it, and then the next day they can create a video on that content, on that piece of equipment, create some content, and now they have people wanting to get it. And the business model is through affiliate marketing, is through content. So this is one of the things that I'm very, very conscious of now. I do understand and realize that I may have contributed to this in a huge way when I started unboxing heat presses before it was a common thing to do, right? Going through a bunch of different heat presses. And I got to also talk about the reason I did that, but I'll do that later on in the video.
Cool. I was making
if I remember.
$7,000 a year, managing a hospital, an entire hospital here in Houston's medical center, the entire campus security I was in charge of. So I was right there during the pandemic, watching, you know, the whole situation, having to deal with the dead bodies and everything. And my wife and I started a custom apparel business during that time.
Managing a hospital, because I'm watching this thing called New Amsterdam, right? If you guys don't watch, it's a pretty cool video about a hospital. And they got a little season 2 is about the pandemic. Managing hospital, managing security at a hospital. I'm not saying either one is easier than the other, but it's a big difference. Managing a hospital during the pandemic, because I looked at that, and Blair is a part of, she was working in the hospital throughout the pandemic. Man, it was a scary, scary time. Even just like coming home and everybody going through a lot of different, she would come, you know, change her clothes, get right in the shower because it was a scary time. So it's kind of two different things, but man, I can only imagine how working in that environment, well, knowing that I experienced it, not firsthand, but man, that was a really, really tough time to be in that area at all during that time.
The extra money that we received from the federal government, that was all cool. And a lot of people had a lot of money back then, right?
Yep.
So there was a lot of mistakes that you could make if you started in this industry, whichever way that you started. If you started with screen printing, if you started with sublimation, if you started with vinyl, if you started with transfers, right? Whichever industry that you started with, you were financially backed. But what happened 3 years later, now that we are 3 years past that, a lot of people are finding themselves uncompensated. A lot of people are figuring out, I'm not selling shirts like these other people who I was watching. I'm not selling the shirts at the rate that I thought I would be.
Man, this is very interesting. This is very interesting for the simple fact that, like, you know, we all want to look at other people's success, and YouTube and the internet, social media overall kind of shows us everybody's success, but it doesn't show what's going on behind the scenes, man. Like, I got to be in 20 recently. I can't count how many messages I got for somebody who had to be in 20, never opened it, right? And that's because of that influx of money allowed you to make some bigger purchases than you normally would, but you really didn't have it in you to kind of actually go through with it. The idea of starting a business was awesome, but the work that it takes to actually get that thing rolling wasn't really there.
My business, I have not been able to leave my 9 to 5. I have not been able to leave my job, or I'm not making as much money as I thought I would. Or because we have a ton of videos of people saying, I converted a printer and now it's broke, right? All the things that people were all these other influencers out here were telling you to do, now all of a sudden you're kind of stuck. And then that doesn't include the new people who are coming in every year. We're getting them every year. 2023, we get thousands of people commenting, what should I do? I want to start my own clothing line. I want to start this. I want to start that. This video is just a raw truth and kind of exposing the industry on people capitalizing off of you not making. And by that, I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of these major corporations and influencers are only making content so that they can be paid from one of 3 categories or all 3 categories.
Oh, let's get into it. Yo, these are conversations that I have a lot behind the scenes, and I already know where this is going just from what he's saying right now, and even having those conversations in the past. because this is something that me and him went back and forth on. And you know, when I relied back on, so I said, bro, check the catalog, right? Like if you do any homework, if you go back to the beginning of where I started my YouTube channel and any of that stuff in there, I was printing, right? My head was down and I was printing, and I was just basically showing everybody the jobs that I was doing. Now, listen, when you got equipment and you got access to make things, you can find a job here, a job there. You know, if you're doing screen printing, sure, you can put a project together and look like you're actually screen printing or whatever the case is. If you got embroidery, you know, you can get a job come in the door and you can run a couple shirts. But running a full-blown business around that is not the same, right? And with content creation, you're spending time and doing the content to actually, you know, make money off the content of a sort, right? And originally, I didn't even have that in my plans. It was literally just me doing the job and sharing the information for the first 3 years, right? And when you do that, when you look around and you see, all right, wait a minute, this business is a lot more crazy. Remember, pre-2020, I'm up in the print shop at 3 a.m., screen printing shirts on live with 4 people. You know, I'm getting up early, running to get deliveries, going to Alfred Broder or Bodick Rose before it was Alfred Broder, going to Philly, picking it up, driving home in the car. Y'all remember I got a van because I couldn't fit the boxes in the car, and I had to run from there to go to daycare to pick up Jada and put her in the car with all these boxes and make room and put boxes on the dash and in the back window to actually make this thing happen. And that is where my expertise per se. I was out here hustling. I was an owner operator of a small business, and this is how I made a living day in and day out. So I was waking up to go pick up shirts, to go print shirts, to go deliver shirts, to go take orders, to do all of this stuff full circle pre-pandemic.
The first category is if they're monetized, being paid from the content that they create. So they could have a so-called brand, which they will never release the sales of that brand. We do. We release our sales. They will release the sales of the brand.
I need to get like one of those joints that have my sounds. Pew, pew, shot fired.
Clothing line, or their hat line, or their socks, or whatever. They will never release that. They just talk about how they're making it, and they make content on the journey of making the brand, but they never release how much the brand makes. But they just influence you to do what they're doing for their brand. And by doing that, if they have a certain level of platform, those videos get views, therefore they get paid.
So this is again, man, I love this conversation because like I said, I've been having it for so much time now, but more so behind the scenes and trying to figure out what to do to counteract that, right? At some point, the real has to prevail in this because too many people are falling down this trap. Now, you can follow the steps that people are doing to create the brand, but ultimately the success is going to come from you and how well you hustle and how you create and how you do things moving forward and how fast you kind of how much you're willing to put yourself out there and step in front of what it is that you want to do to be successful with what you're doing, right? But at the end of the day, you know, what he's saying is true. A lot of people teaching won't share the ins and outs, or you don't even see them doing the actual work that it takes to actually run that brand and to do things long term. This is a very, very popular topic for people who, you know, not even like people who I've interacted with. Just like if you search it, you just see people with like 1 or 2 videos on the topic, and that is a red flag. If somebody has 1 or 2 videos on how to create a brand, if it's not like day in and day out, this is what I'm doing and day in the life, and they may have like 1 video on a day in the life, 1 video on this, 1 video on that, right? But they don't have what I would say is like the catalog behind what they're doing. Doesn't mean it's wrong or not. You got to understand that this is a content segment that is very, very popular, and so a lot of people, you know, on their content creation journey, they head down this road, but ultimately they are selling back to their audience, if that makes sense. So they got a huge following. Most of them are taking that following and they're converting it into merch that they're selling to that following. They may be successful at that, but you won't have that same following to turn and say, hey, I'm popular, I'm dropping this, and people come by it, because you don't have that following because you're just not social media ready or inclined with it, however you want to call it.
I know this because YouTube pays for this Lexus. It's just, these are just the honest truths that none of these other influencers are, and none of these other corporations or influencers are telling you guys. So this isn't I'm not bashing anybody. I'm just letting everybody know who's new to the industry or who spent a few $100s on certain products. Just be wary of this industry. It's very cutthroat. And a lot of people get on here to make it look like elaborate for their own brand and for their own purpose. And you guys know we only want to manufacture so you can create a business with a full color transfer. And somebody will comment, oh, that's his plug. No, that's not a plug, because if you are I always tell people, if you're in California, you should probably be using a company like Supacolor or something.
I'm going to take this time right now to tell you guys, Marathon Supply is available for you guys. Listen, if you want to combat this, if you want to be around like-minded individuals out here hustling, trying to build a business, trying to grow, trying to be around information and different things, shop at Marathon Supply. By shopping there, you're going to see exactly what we're able to do. You guys see what I've been able to do. The fact that you're watching this video, if it's not the first one that you've watched, you know what I'm about, man. I'm about bringing you guys content and information that's going to truly help you. And this is a way that you guys can support it, doing everything that you normally do, buying supplies, that's your detail transfers, that's your vinyl, that's everything else. And we're starting small. We're going to grow this thing out. This is my plug. You know, I've worked with a ton of companies. I've fought with a ton of companies that argue that our small businesses aren't consumer-based businesses, meaning they're not selling from their business to us as consumers. Our business is just important as some of their bigger customers and clients, where we may not make up a big purchase and spend $10,000 at once. It may take 10 of us to make that same dollar amount purchase, but our dollars should be valued and things should be going on. So if you guys want to see more events like Made the Hustle, support more content, check out marathon.supply. Go over there, buy your supplies. And last but not least, if you want to get more into the professional side of this industry, head over to Decorator By Nature. I'm going to have all that linked up, as well as my link to this video here, so you guys can go check it out in full. I don't know where I'm going to stop, but that's my plug. And yeah, go check it out. Sign up for the email list. Let's keep going.
Like that. Why? Because they're right there. So shipping is going to be like half the price if you can't just drive here and go get a full
Nah, it's flat rate. So
transfer.
Marathon got flat rate shipping too.
But I also tell people, if you are in a city like, if you're in Milwaukee, if there's a DTF company, local DTF company in your area, go make a relationship with them so you could just go pick up your prints. It's just about, we teach about making money and about you maximizing your profit using certain process.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. Right now, what I believe is that you should shop at places that are investing back into you, right? So I believe I invest back into this community greatly. You should support me. However, there's going to be times where, you know, hey, I don't have the timeline based on a delivery date that something needs to get to me, that I may need to have a local supplier, a local place. You know, you can't go into a screen print shop where, you know, there's only one kind of ink. Sure, you know, for us, you know, now we use Marathon screen printing, right? But now what happens is I may want to use a certain brand of ink. You may want to use Marathon, but today you didn't know, you ran out of ink. You got to have a local place. And for us, that was like Willflex, and they had the worst white. No, it was Willflex and Triangle was a place that Pocono. Darn, what's the name of that screen print company? They actually closed down. Photo Processes in Philly, they actually closed down, but that was the place that we would go to get supplies. And, you know, we had to do it. We had to get that thick white ink and kind of like put in the, you know, just to get it ready. We had to do some stuff or whatever the case is. But nonetheless, I definitely think you should have a mixture. But we should be shopping at places that are invested into the things that we care about, into the community that we care about. Again, so marathon.supply. Y'all know what it is.
Back to the main point, because I'll get into that in a little bit. So the point number one is that a lot of these influencers are using things like, because none of them manufacture anything. We are the only influencer company on here who are the owners and operators of the product that we manufacture nationally and internationally. So that's the difference between us and everybody else. So they get on, talk about clothing brand, and then influence you to start creating a clothing brand with said process, thus making money from their YouTube, which pays them per view and RPM and all this other stuff. So the more content that they create about this market, and if they're doing a good job at it, because there's formulas on how to do it really well, if they're doing a good job at it, they just continue to do that so that they can be paid.
I don't think whether somebody manufactures or does it, however you want to call it, I don't think that really matters. Ultimately, I think the fact if they're able to deliver a product and do different things, it matters, right? I think what's important is the quality of the information that someone is giving you, and not everybody wants to be a manufacturer, right? Like not everybody wants to print t-shirts. Some people just want to sell. Some people want to do different things. So you just got to find a lane that fits for you.
Process number one of what's going on in this industry. Process number two,
I agree with one.
Influencers, those same brands, 99.9% of them, but we're the only 1% that doesn't, has affiliate links. So now they have two forms of income from not making anything. They can go into a screen print shop. They can go into any shop, period, and say, yeah, this company's making our shirts. We're getting 600 shirts made today. And the only reason why the shop owner is going to, get on camera for the video is because that influencer has a decent amount of subscribers. So it's just common sense for the owner of the shop, who probably doesn't have a platform at all, like zero.
That's crazy because a lot of print shops don't have platform. I think it's coming a little bit more common and popular today, but a lot of shops and people making money in this industry don't have platforms. They're just out here getting it.
Platform at all. If they do, they're like a few thousand, a few hundred subscribers. They're like, yeah, sure, of course, come to my shop. You can say you make whatever you want. I don't care. I'll make you one or two shirts, right? And then I will say that we manufacture all of your stuff. Therefore, you look good in your videos, and then you can promote to other people of the processes, and it just validates you. And guess what? Their description is littered with affiliate links. So are they honestly giving you truthful information for you to benefit? And I'm not talking about the people who are, if you already have a brick and mortar screen print shop, you don't give a damn about these influencers. Because you've already got your customer base, and if you've been maintaining through the pandemic and stuff like that, you already know what time it is. And that's who we talk to. We talk to the big players in the country. We don't go to shows and then, mingle around and stuff like that. Why? Because we manufacture second or first. We're definitely the first largest manufacturer of DTF as far as company awareness and digital media. As far as production, we are second. Close to being first. Probably we will finish 2023 as first. As far as production, as far as sheets made to sell, because you got a lot of people that are making sheets and that are making transfers, but is going on clothing that's sitting in a store and then is not being sold. So there's a lot of analytics that go into it. But again, I digress. My point is that the part two of these influencers on all of social media, they are making content just to grow their channel and get paid from it, but they actually do not have a product. Two, the product that they do have is whatever little merch that they have that you purchase from their channel, right? So they may say that they're making a clothing line. You then see the clothing line, you want to support, you purchase. But their major income is by affiliate marketing.
All right, so this is where I wanted to get through this full part. I was going to stop it earlier, but I'm like, let me just see where he goes. And pretty much, the affiliate marketing piece. Now, what I think he's getting at here is, it's going to come down to the quality of the information that you're receiving, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with affiliate links. I don't think affiliate links necessarily take away from your integrity or kind of like some of that stuff. However, I do feel like a lot of people making content are content creators, and that's what you have to identify where that comes from, right? Where I can say, you can check my catalog long before 2020. You can see me actually working on live and doing different things. And now you may see people pop up who have the equipment, who haven't put in the work to actually run the business. And they may have every last piece of equipment known to man. And they may be purely not even talking about brand. They may be just talking about this piece of equipment, that piece of equipment, but they have truly no experience on any of it, or they're learning along the way to try to create content to keep this content train rolling. Yes, I have made a ton of money through affiliate income, but now my affiliate income has all been shut down, and that's why I started Marathon Supply, because I don't necessarily agree with what some of the big companies are doing. Although I was out, fighting a good fight when it came to getting people into this industry and growing brands. Listen, I don't only make content. I consult behind the scenes with a lot of companies, as you guys know. Some of the stuff that you've seen, and a lot of you haven't heard about certain companies before me, or even hearing about companies through other influencers. Some way or shape or form, I've had a lot to do with it. I started maybe 6 different affiliate programs. And what I always go back to the influencers and say, listen, if it's not true to who you are, the direction that you want to go, then do not talk about it, right? You got to have a sense of integrity when it comes to it. You could buy all of the equipment and you can lead people down this path, but ultimately, I want to see people get across that starting line to actually run that marathon and get a successful business rolling, not just to get you to purchase equipment. It actually hurts me when people buy equipment and they tell me, man, I got that and I haven't used it in so long. So, this is one of the things where I look at it like, man, how do I do this and maintain my integrity? Because that's what matters, right? If I lead you astray, you're going to have a certain disdain. And I'm telling you, I got on this platform, I got on YouTube to show people how to make 300, 500, 1,000 extra bucks a month in order to start a t-shirt business so that they can make their life a little bit easier, make those bills hit less, the Pampers come in, let the Pampers not weigh you down, and you can get out here and get it and take your family on a trip or whatever it is that you needed the money for. So, I don't think necessarily having affiliate links actually leads you down a road that is not integrity based. However, you got to look at who it is that you're following and kind of what their business model is, right? So for me, I stopped printing in 2020 to try to get more people into the industry, right? But prior to that, you can check the track record. I ain't had nothing. You can go from there all the way back to 2009. You can go on I was printing sublimation socks in 2014. You can check the pages of the businesses that I had and the things that I was doing back then, and you can see that I was making shirts and I was doing this work. Shredder Compton came out, started brands and stuff that you guys see me do. That was all real. You know what I mean? And that is what I'm trying to tell people now is like, listen, you got to put this work in. You got to have hustle. You got to have hustle in order to build the business, right? So let's keep rocking.
That was a big thing in 2021 and 2022, how to drop ship and do affiliate marketing. And these guys and women have taken full advantage of that opportunity.
I stumbled into affiliate marketing. I had no freaking clue. I actually turned down Heat Press Nation when Jared reached out to me the first time. I'm like, bro, I can't use your product. I can't make a video on your product. I never used your product. You gonna send me something? What we doing? I don't know.
And they're doing pretty.
Shout out to Jared from Heat Press Nation.
Well at it. They're doing pretty darn well at it. And then the third one after their content channel and then their affiliate marketing, and this is third. I wouldn't merge it with fourth, but the third one is some type of paid masterclass. I have a free ebook. I created the ebook myself. It's free. We have free images on our website. It's free. The game that we give on here, the information that we give on this channel and Flash Custom Transfer channel, it's all free. It's all free because.
So as a person right now, I'm creating my first class, and it's going to be custom business builder, something like that. And I got a few inquiries and some emails. If you guys want to be a part of that, shoot me an email at tshirtshots@gmail.com. Put custom t-shirt business builder in the comments. Tell me about your business. Tell me what equipment you have. Tell me how long you've been doing it. Tell me what ails you. So I'm trying to create something because so many people are in different places, obviously, and putting something together, a one size fits all, more so like a mentorship where we can kind of walk through the process of getting the business looking the way it should look and doing the things it should do. But I kept saying I didn't want to take money from people, right? I didn't want to have people spend their money with me. I wanted companies to pay me. Now I realize that I may have had some flaws in that entire thing, just because I was expected to do certain things that went against my morals, principles, and values. I flat out been robbed by companies. But at the end of the day, it's one of those things. Man, it's just one of those things where, you know, you just got to be watching out of what information that you're following and paying attention to.
Because we aren't in this industry to get paid from each individual customer. That's never been Flash Custom Transfer's business model. Flash Custom Transfer's business model is to provide a product that people who want to enter this industry can purchase at a very low price and then sell it at a markup, or create whatever merchandise that they already have orders for. They can create it at a faster process with less equipment. That's our business model.
That was me fighting the fight for the last 2 years. That was me telling people that transfers were a valuable source of income. And I took all of the critiques, all of the criticism, I took it with a grain of salt. Now look where the industry is, right? The heat press is even bigger than it was before. The content space is even bigger than it was before. And the information out here, you know, is pretty much, you know, a grandfathered it of a sort. Me and a few other people out here grandfathered it, but it was a big deal when we came on the internet talking about heat presses. I mean, I've argued with people on live multiple times about teaching people to screen print versus this versus that. I think you can be successful on here. I don't even think that I've really heard anything so far that even has to do with screen printing is dead. It's like, this is more like a video that says watch out for who you're following and what information you're getting and receiving from people and companies and different things like that than it is to say screen printing is dead. But let's keep rocking.
And then we give all the information so that you can maximize your profit. That is it. We are more of a business brand, and we're more of a business building brand than we are necessarily. No, we're definitely a manufacturer. We're more of a business brand. But I say that to say,
oh yeah, Marathon.supply. Go get it.
Be very careful, because a lot of people who are making these high quality videos, they're not just coming out until you can even, if you.
I'm just starting to make high quality videos. You know what I'm saying? This is being shot with an iPhone. So I'm trying to ramp it up a little bit, make it look a little better, but we keeping that real raw all in our content.
If you just listen to the videos, I haven't said subscribe once. A lot of these videos are structured. They're studying all of these. They're studying Mr. Beast videos. They're studying all these other professional YouTuber videos, and they're just applying it to the custom apparel world and the crafting world. And then they're using that formula, which has already been well written, and they're using that.
I need to do some more studying. I'm getting better, but I should have been studying and doing this thing, man. We took the long route.
To entice you to get into this industry, but they could give a damn less. They could give a damn less if they're telling you, which I just seen a video today, which is about screen printing. Why? Screen printing is.
Oh, I spoke too soon.
Dead. And that's going to be the title of this video. Screen printing is dead. It's dead in 2023. It is dead. You've got too many other companies who can get you a transfer, whether or not it's DTF, that can get you a transfer in your hand. All you got to do.
For it to be dead, honestly, I expected my first sale on Marathon Supply to be transfers, right? My first sale was screen printing. I was quite shocked. I was really quite shocked. But because I haven't talked about screen printing for a while, go visit Decorator By Nature.
Is press. That's it. Like, that's it. It's that fast. For you to pay somebody to screen print your clothing line, first off, as a manufacturer, and people, and they're, you know, they use things like 6 figures and 7 figures. We show our numbers. We know what we make.
So this would be his transfer sales.
It's just facts. And I see these industries and I see these influencers, and I'm like, I know you didn't make 6 figures. And if you did make 6 figures, I know how much it cost you, because we just filed our taxes on 6 figures. So we know, you know what I mean? We filed our taxes. There's 2 separate business. The wholesale business will never be filmed. So that the employees, everything at the warehouse, that will never be. The Flash Custom Transfers, the face of the business, That's what we show our information on. You guys will never know beyond that number, because that's meant for evaluation of the company and stuff like that as we build and build and build, so that we can, because again, we're doing this to be big. But I'm still giving you guys the information on how to be big, on how to
so
be
what,
not a.
I'm assuming that was transfer sales. I'm not sure what numbers it is. Let me go back. Let me see if it says anything that will tell us.
Like it's
it's a good number. Doing some good business. Taxes. Yeah, it doesn't really say. So I'm assuming that that's transfer sales in what he's doing, because he did say that they shut down the they shut down the, what is it called, the custom shop, the t-shirt printing shop, and are doing this fully. So I'm assuming that that's what it is, and it's not on custom t-shirts. But that's pretty much $1,000 a day. It's pretty good.
I see these industries and I see these influencers, and I'm like, I know you didn't make six figures. And if you did make six figures, I know how much it cost you, because we just filed our taxes.
And that's one of the very, very important things is like, yeah, you might have a 8-figure, a 7-figure, a 6-figure number, but what did it cost you to run those ads? What did it cost you to produce that through POD? What did it cost you in employment and fulfilling these orders? Like, what are the real numbers it took to run that business? That's what we got to figure out and understand.
6 figures, so we know. You know what I mean? We filed our taxes. There's two separate business. The wholesale business will never be filmed. So that the employees, everything at the warehouse, that will never be. The flash custom transfers, the face of the business, that's what we show our information on. You guys will never know beyond that number, because that's meant for evaluation of the company and stuff like that as we build and build and build, so that we can, because again, we're doing this to be big. But I'm still giving you guys the information on how to be big, on how to be not a hustle.
I see some of this stuff, but it's not my place.
To be a big business. There's no such thing. There's no Fortune 500 hustle. There's a Fortune 500 company and businesses. There's no Fortune 500 hustle. So
this has been an interesting topic. Some people hit me up about some stuff, and I got a comment or whatever the case is. I'm not following too much of it, but some people confuse, or at least in my opinion, you can define hustle and all that stuff as what you want, right? But to me, hustle is the desire to want more. Hustle is the desire to figure it out. Hustle is the desire to want to build the business. That's where that comes from. When you get out and you hustle, you are in pursuit of building something, building a legacy, building a business, and you're out here hustling to get that done, right? And I think, when you talk to a lot of big shoppers, man, at the beginning, they're like, man, I had to hustle. I had to hustle to get the dollars. I had to hustle to do this. I had to hustle in order to build the business. And hustle is just what it takes to get yourself going in that direction. You know what I'm saying? To that's the motivation behind it. That's the grind, the grit that it takes to get through it. That's the perseverance. You know what I'm saying? That it takes to build a business. So, I don't know.
That's not what we're here to do.
We don't know what the direction is or what the purpose of all of this hustle versus business conversation is, but I don't think it matters.
It was actually getting 15 minutes, but I just want you guys to understand. And that
I'm watching this in regular speed. We could probably speed it up at 1.5, but you guys seem to like the regular speed. So let me know what you guys think about that.
And to know that certain processes are dead. So do not get into this industry. If this is your first time watching this, don't get into this industry following the trend. And the trend right now is try to create a clothing line, which they regurgitate these trends all the time. The trends right now in 2023 are just regurgitated every year. They tell you to screen print, and then they tell you to do sublimation.
I don't think the trend is screen print or sublimation. I think that is, sublimation might still be popular, but I feel like the trend right now is DTF. In one way, shape, or form, that is wholeheartedly the trend, right? And the reason that they saying all of this sublimation is dead, vinyl is dead, screen printing is dead, is because DTF and its application methods and being able to like put it on anything, to do anything with it, et cetera, et cetera. So that's just one of those things where I don't think that's the trend. I think DTF is actually the trend, buying transfers, which is a trend that, I was very, very early on and took those hits on. But I think the trend now is DTF. manufacturing DTF. That's why now when you go to the shows, it's in every booth. It might even be in like an apparel booth, whatever, but it's in every single booth because that's the trend. You don't really see much more sublimation. Maybe in the craft community, it's still a ton of sublimation and the full sub and all of that kind of stuff that you can do. But overall, DTF is wholeheartedly 1000% the trend of the industry. And now it's UV DTF, which is the next trend, followed with AI, and all you can do with the three of those together and combine them. So I think those are the trends, and it's definitely POD, print on demand, is still the trend as well.
Because those are the only two things where you can get color. Well, with screen printing, you're limited. You're automatically capped. As soon as you go into a screen print place, if you do what these guys are telling you, the formula, the first thing a screen print place is going to tell you is, well, how many colors do you want? So now you're subject to, you're automatically limited. Screen print places are not doing 25 plus colors. They're just not.
They're going to do DTF. Simple. They're going to do, they may have had DTG, but now they're going to go and run a DTF operation or setup when it comes to what they do.
The only companies that are doing 25, the only processes, not even companies, the only
in the 25 colors, they'll just use simulated process if the quantity is high enough, because it's faster. It's faster if you had a production, but now that even gets it way more complicated than most people want to even get into. You know, for me, screen printing, I want to do 1-2 colors, maybe 3. I don't want to go into nothing deeper than that, even though I got a 6-color press. I do not want to be screen printing 6 colors. Why? Because it's very, very time consuming to do on the manual press. If you got an auto setting it up and running that thing, you got a big order, it's way faster than it would be with DTF. However, the entire process of everything is a lot different. So, you know, you are at a very, very large scale when you're running one of those oval presses from Rock or one of the other ones. So keep that in mind.
Processes that are doing 25 plus colors in high definition are DTF, screen print transfer, white toner, ink, and stuff like that. But we're talking on any type of material. So we're talking that can be pressed on cotton, poly blends, jeans, khaki, canvas, anything like that. Those two processes, screen print process, screen print transfer process, and DTF are the only two. So whenever you contact any type of company like that and your color is dynamic, right? Your logo is dynamic, which a lot of logos are becoming more and more dynamic.
Ain't that the truth? They're coming, the color range of like the pop-up graphic designers and everything like that. Like, I was actually thinking about this last night and watching Wu-Tang. Like, a lot of the most iconic logos, Wu-Tang, straight out of Compton, Nike, they're like super, Louis Vuitton, all of those are super simple. But today it's like gradient here, this fades there, this blows up there, it's glitter here, it's glitter there. It's kind of like one of those things.
Especially with the influx of AI designs, you can't do an AI design with screen print. You can do it with vinyl too, but it's not going to look like it's supposed to look.
I dropped a video last week. I'll link it up as well on my thoughts on AI. Really interesting. It could be scary to some people, but it also is the perfect time for what he's saying now. Like, if we didn't have AI if we didn't have DTF when AI came about, we would have had some massive problems when all we had was Nina paper.
Unless you're using those two processes, screen print transfers and DTF. That's why I'm trying to explain to you guys, be wary if somebody gets online and says, yeah, you know, I'm doing good.
I kind of want to end it, but this is a good topic.
And we do this much, and then they name a process like screen print, but they say that they outsource. I'm telling you, as a manufacturer, when you get to a certain level, you want to own your process. When you get to a certain level in this business, you want to own your processes. You want to own the whole thing, because outsourcing causes you to pay somebody else. So if I have say I straight edit content, say it's out the blue 2023, straight edit content explodes, and I'm doing 1,000 units a month. Do you think I'm gonna outsource my 1,000 units to a screen print shop? Or do you think I'm going to ramp up my production and hire more people to print it in-house for myself? Why would I insert a middleman for my clothing brand? It doesn't make any sense.
I disagree. So this is one of the conversations that I've been going back and forth with World and Vision, Nick over there, and even Rich And you know, it depends on where you are in the process and what your expertise is. Some people's expertise is selling, so trying to run production, ramp up production, figure out that production process will slow them down. And if you're doing if you're doing 1,000 units, you can like get very, very low numbers and never be tied into the overhead that it takes to run production and different things like that. So there's definitely a part of this pie, a part of this puzzle that that benefits, and that's where you got to kind of like figure out where you want to fit. Are you more hands-on? Like myself, I got in the industry more hands-on than it was selling. I was selling because I was out hustling and being in front of people, and which led me into this business. But at the end of the day, I got into it to be hands-on. Some people don't get into it to fall in love with the processes. Man, we lost so many screen printers. When it comes to reclaiming, you lose so much working employees with the other stuff. Pulling the squeegee is the easy part. Doing the rest of the stuff that it takes to run a manual-based shop, that's the part where you got a high turnover employees, because the stuff is just repetitive. It's stupid stuff in a sense that like you don't want to do it. Nobody wants to do it. You can't find enough help. You can't pay enough. I'm thinking these days you're going to have to pay like in some places like $20 an hour if you got a small shop to just keep that person engaged in the business. When, you know, minimum wage around me is like maybe $7.65 or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it might be $8.50, maybe, right? Where, you know, you definitely have to pay somebody at least $15 an hour in order to keep them engaged and showing up to work. And sometimes that still won't work because we're in like this employment crisis of a sort. So keep all of this stuff in mind.
You guys hear Nike, right? Well, you got somebody might say, well, Nike owns those factories. Nike's not having, this is a prime example. Nike's not having LA Apparel make their stuff, right? What is Kanye's issue right now? I'm not using him.
Oh man, bro, they gonna cancel you, trying to misconstrue what you said to their benefit.
Under any circumstances,
they gonna come for your company or make somebody else stop selling you supplies and equipment or something.
As far as being good or nothing like that. I'm saying his biggest problem right now is finding somebody to manufacture his stuff, right? Which is everybody's problem. Unless you own your process, and that's what we preach here. Own your entire process. Amazon, who is a company that we model ourselves after, that's why we have Flash Plus. We model ourselves after Amazon. Does Amazon ship you your package with UPS or FedEx or the
This is really, really high level. Great aspirational thoughts. This is really high level, man. This is where I'm going to end this video, man. To close this out, my final thoughts, man. I think this is a great topic, a great conversation. Man, we have to be really, really aware of what's going on, what information we're receiving. I really want to combat this hoarding of equipment, this buying things and not using it, this basic level of information of how to making stuff is easy. Building a business around what it is you're doing and making money consistently off of that business and not selling to an audience that you created content for and all of that kind of stuff is real. All I know how to do is create a local based print shop. That's what I did pre-2020, and that's what I'm getting back to. And if I'm starting from scratch, so if you guys want to join along on that journey, you want to get tips and tricks, and as well as connect with experts who have mentored me and guided me and given me a ton of information, follow me over on Decorator By Nature. That's where I'm going to be having that professional talk. T-shirt side hustle is going to be the same great platform that you have. If you need supplies, transfers, vinyl, equipment, you rock with me, you rock with the channel, you rock with the content, head over to marathon.supply. All of that stuff is linked up down in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you want me to react to next down in the comments below. Shout out to him. His video is linked down below. Go show him some love. This has been your boy Stan Bass from T-Shirt Side Hustle. Peace.
The T-Shirt Side Hustle team would like to give a huge shout out to its contributing members.